This is the weekly update dated October 8th, 21 for the 5-minute production incubation project. My name is Shri. Let's begin with a recap of last week. Last week we demoed the OAuth 2, Google OAuth 2 implementation on the project's infrastructure Google Cloud page. We then saw the creation of a service account, the persistence of the same as project CI variables, and then the listing of service accounts on the Google Cloud page. With the bare bones implementation complete, this week we spent time handling all the edge cases and scenarios. For example, if the GitLab instance was not configured for Google OAuth 2, showing the notifications on creation, handling duplicate service account that were created, if the user didn't have any Google Cloud projects, and if the API permissions were missing. We look at each one of these in a demo. One of the requirements is that the GitLab instance needs to be configured to serve as a Google OAuth 2 client. If this configuration is missing and the user tries to access infrastructure Google Cloud within a project, they are shown a message which explains that this configuration is needed. Furthermore, they are given a button that links to the documentation page that explains what needs to be done. The message informs them that this needs to be performed by the administrator. The next enhancement was a simple yet essential feature. Assuming now the instance is configured properly, I go to the project infrastructure Google Cloud page and I generate a service account. First you see the Google login, then you see the Google authorization screen, and you're taken to the form where you can select your GCP project and you can select an environment. Upon submit, the service account gets created, the service account key gets created, and along with the listing, you see a notification. Last time this confirmation notification was missing. The next step was to handle duplicate service account creation. Have a look here. A service account exists for staging, but what happens when the user tries to create another service account for the staging environment? This will overwrite the existing staging key. So if I generate a service account, there's still only one listing, and if you navigate to the CI/CD variables, you will see that the previous keys or the previous variables were overwritten with the new key. The service account creation process involves the user selecting their own GCP project in the form. But what if the user does not have a GCP project at all? In that case, you will see a notification is shown wherein the user is informed that they don't have a Google Cloud project, and a link is made available for the user to create their first GCP project. This process can be automated at a later date, wherein GitLab in the background creates a GCP project for the user, but let's keep it out of scope for now, and let's just show the user a message and a button to manually create such a project. When the GitLab instance is configured to have Google OAuth 2 as a auth provider, it is linked to a GCP project. This GCP project needs two APIs enabled, the Cloud Resource Manager API and the Identity Access Management API. Assuming that these APIs are disabled, the generation of service account needs to handle those scenarios. In this case, you can see that it cannot find the Cloud Resource Manager API enabled, so we show a warning and we show the error stack which is logged for the system admin to take rectifying action. These were some of the edge cases that were handled. There are more. We also need to log exceptions with the incubation label, write a lot of tests and specs, fix the regression, and prepare for the code review. Additionally, this week I got a chance to speak with Val Parsons, who is the Director of Support in EMEA, and we were able to jot down a few, let's say, checklist items or guidelines for incubation engineers on what additional steps they should take to make their feature ready for release, and to help the support team members better handle support tickets that may arise from users using these features. That's all for this week. See you next time.